Alright, let me show you what I mean regarding the last chapter and an actual example, this time with Antofagasta. And let's take, with this example, what we see. I'm just going to take a particular period. Here you can see the rally, you can see how the MACD actually happened to move up and this moved down. Well, fine, hindsight's perfect. This happens to be the daily chart of Antofagasta, and you can see how the MACD, as I say, it's starting to rise up here. We get a particular break here and so forth. Let's just mark that for argument's sake. If I then switch to a weekly view of this, you can see how on a weekly view that the MACD had already also started rising, confirming something which had happened on the daily. Now that might not be confirmed on the monthly, and here we've only got a slight break at that point where I'd marked it on the monthly chart where the signal line had been broken. But if you were to argue, are the odds stacked in our favour therefore, because of that situation on a weekly and monthly, you'd certainly start having some build-up of a case. That's what I'm talking about when I say we look at the weekly and monthly charts and how the MACDs look on those in very broad terms. In terms of trends, you can see here we've got, if we just look back a couple of weeks, you've hardly got much of a trend looking backwards. You can't say that you've got a trend there. It's not a resumption of an upward trend that we're talking about in that instance. So what I'm talking about there is not just looking at this very short-term period when we're looking at swing trading, but looking at a longer period. Now that's not a deal breaker. It's not, oh, I'm not going to enter this trade, because in actual fact it's not continuing a previous upward trend, but it's just an example to show you that's one of the factors I throw into the pot. Pretty unimportant, but it's there sometimes. It's sometimes asking too much to say, is it just resuming an upward trend? But anyway, that gives you a picture of what I mean by looking at dailies and weeklies and some of the things we discussed in the previous chapter.